Okay, so you learned in school that the nervous system is like a big electrical wiring system in your body. And yes, that is true, it is, but there is more to it than that. So let's start with something called neurons. Neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. They're what make the nervous system tick. Information in the brain is conducted through electrical impulses by these neurons. So that's where you're getting this idea of electrical wires connecting your body. So let's talk a little bit about the parts of a neuron. A neuron has dendrites and a cell body which receives the impulse. There's another part called the axon, and that's the terminal part of the neuron that transmits the signal to another neuron. And it works kind of as a relay team. So the axon is putting that signal out there, and the dendrite is picking it up, right? So, furthermore, expanding on this, neurons are not directly attached to one another like wires are, right? You need to plug a cord into the wall in order to get that electrical impulse. But for neurons, there's gaps in between them, and the gaps are called a synapse. So basically what's happening, how these electrical impulses are being transferred, is that the axon terminal of one neuron is called the presynaptic neuron, and the dendrite area of the other neuron is called the postsynaptic neuron. Neurotransmitters are chemicals that help conduct these electrical impulses from the presynaptic to the postsynaptic neurons, right? So the neurotransmitters are stored in the presynaptic neurons, and when an electrical impulse reaches that axon terminal, they can bind to proteins. And then when the proteins fuse to the presynaptic membrane, the neurotransmitters empty themselves out. Then there are receptors on the postsynaptic membrane that receive the neurotransmitters. And the binding of neurotransmitters to the receptors depend kind of on a few things, on the shape of the molecule and receptors and some other things. So basically, the binding of neurotransmitters is what allows this electrical impulse to pass on from the presynaptic neuron to the postsynaptic neuron. So now we should have a little bit better understanding of, yes, the nervous system is similar to electrical wiring in your body, but it's not all connected, right? We have these synapses, and neurotransmitters are what are allowing this electrical impulse to be passed from axons to dendrites in the nervous system.